In a special report, we are looking at students enrolled in the Tuscaloosa City school system who are homeless. WVUA 23 news anchor Tamika Alexander reports.
Jabari, we spoke with officials at the Tuscaloosa City Schools to see how they're working to help these families who are seeking shelter. For many students, when the school bell rings, that means heading home. But for others, that takes on a whole new meaning. That's because they have no place to go.
Right now, we've only been able to identify about 249 students. That's down from last year. We were at about 323 last year. So that is good in itself.
Tuscaloosa City Schools attendance coordinator Charles Anthony tells us their job is to provide stability for their homeless students.
We keep them in their school of origin so that they're not bouncing around from school to school to school. Then after we do that, we try to make sure that the kids are in a stable environment.
That stable environment includes social workers partnering with the families to make sure the students have food and clothing. Anthony tells us that the McKinney-Vento law, which is a federal act that passed in 1987, protects students who do not have adequate housing.
Many of our people are doubled up. They live in situations where if one morning someone was upset with them and said, "Get out of my house," they have to get out. They have no legal right to be there. And so McKinney-Vento realizes that and takes into consideration that those people really don't have a home.
The consequences of homelessness can be devastating for children. In fact, those who lack stable housing face a host of challenges that stress their developing systems, including lack of sleep, hunger, and fear.
Some families that have actually slept in cars. We've had families that are sleeping outside somewhere. They don't want it to be known. And the kids are told not to say anything to anybody.
Children are the real victims in homeless situations, with no control over the decision that put them there and no power to change their circumstances.
If we don't do something in Tuscaloosa to start providing for our middle to low income families, I don't know where this process goes. I mean, we're bound to experience more homelessness than what we have now if the trend continues.
If your family is homeless, you can contact the school your child attends for assistance. Coming up tomorrow, we will hear from a woman who faced many challenges while finding shelter for her family. Reporting for WVUA 23 News, I'm Tamika Alexander.